Experience the whole life. But after a few hours and a few more drinks, I ain't even worried about it. And I needed it.
As you all seen in the clips, we're quickly living in more of this reality, well, I would like to call or entitle pay-to-play culture. What is a pay-to-play culture? For those of you who don't know what pay-to-play is basically simple. A man that is looking from some type of sex or sexual pleasure or sexual activity from a woman, instead of going through the traditional norm of getting to know a woman, courting a woman, or dating a woman, a man will financially pay a woman just to get some type of sexual pleasure. And what the woman does, instead of allowing the man to earn the right to gain access to her body, she will go along with the pay-to-play exchange by accepting the man's money or financial benefit by mutually playing with him in exchange for the money. In the old days, this was called prostitution. And today, what we're really seeing unfold is a modern version of prostitution. But now it's being more induced into, quote unquote, the square world. And it has a lasting impact on both relationships and marriage. Let's take a look at why pay-to-play culture has been ingrained into relationships and marriages, and see why this pay-to-play culture has a dominant effect in today's society. Look at the man, for example. When dating a woman, he's physically attracted to a woman at first. So in order to gain access to that woman's sexual goods, the man would take the woman out on a date. He would get to know the woman. He would pay for the date. He would buy the food. He would buy the drinks. He would buy her a gift in certain cases. He would spend hours on the phone with her, texting, FaceTime, DM, whatever. And once he gets the goods from the woman, in some cases he may pay to get that from the woman. Now, after he gets the goods, he'll want to establish some type of relationship with the woman on a very serious level. So he develops a relationship with the woman. He takes her out on trips, brings her around the family. He's paying all of this money, right? And so let's say this relationship forms into a marriage. The man has to pay for the wedding ring or the engagement ring to give to the woman. And now here comes the wedding. Well, the woman actually prepares for the wedding. The man is paying for the wedding. Now after he gets married, now he has to buy a house. And once he buys a house, now there's children involved. Or there may be children prior to the marriage. So now this man has to pay to take care of the woman. He has to pay to take care of the children. He has to work extra hard to ensure that his family is taken care of. And what happens in a lot of cases, either these two may mutually separate, or he may be abusive, whether verbally, emotionally, or physically, or she just may get bored with the relationship, and so she decides to end the marriage or the relationship. And what happens in a relationship, if you have children, now you have to go through the process of the child support system, or if you two adults are have a mutual understanding, you will create a contract to where you're taking care of your children financially. But in the case of a lot of marriages, the marriage ends, the man has to pay for lawyers, he may pay her lawyer, divorce settlement comes in, he has to pay either child support or alimony, or he may have to pay both. So the pay-to-play culture has induced marriages, because now instead of marriages being exclusively for love or creating a family, marriages are viewed nowadays as a business transaction. Relationships are viewed nowadays as a business transaction or financial come. What this pay-to-play culture has done is it has convinced men to not even become involved in the relationships or marriages. And so the men are opting out. Now, what does the pay-to-play culture do to women? One of the greatest assets that a woman has is her sexuality and her physicality. So naturally, a man is going to be attracted to a woman who has who is naturally beautiful, or who is curvaceous, or who has some type of sex appeal. So in the pay-to-play culture for a woman, let's say she likes a man or she's attracted to a man, she'll go great lengths to induce her sexuality onto that man. There are some women who will pay to take the man on dates, who would want the man's companionship, who would do anything to gain that man's attention, who would try to grasp all of his energy with her time or his time. And so this woman goes to great lengths to gain this man's attention by putting her sexuality in the forefront in hopes of securing that man at the very least on an emotional level. So once she gets this man, and let's say the sexuality comes into play, let's say the man put it on her, now she's emotionally attached to that man because she has found a common ground with that man, and that is through sexual promiscuity. And so this woman may fall deeply in love with this man, while this man may not have the same attraction or emotional attachment to her. And so this man may have other women in mind. And so what this woman does, she is so emotionally invested into this man, she goes to great lengths to maintain that man. So this man may got 2, 3, 4 women. She'll probably fight those women just to convince that man that she's only meant for him. Women who use their sexuality in a promiscuous way so that they may secure the bag, or instead of working a 9 to 5 or doing what they can to earn extra money, they use their bodies as a vessel to lure men out of their money. And so they trick men into believing that they're the ones for them, but the whole time the woman is being deceptive and manipulative by just using her body or selling her body just to get the money. This is what the pay-to-play culture has engulfed into. Marriages and relationships are becoming more and more obsolete. According to the statistics, over 50% of marriages end up in divorce. And out of those 50% divorce rates, more than 80% of those divorces are initiated by women. But I look at it this way. In this pay-to-play culture, both men and women are at fault for this. Why are men and women both at fault for this? The reason men and women are both at fault for the pay-to-play culture is simply because everyone is looking to get something right now in the moment. Many men, instead of wanting to spend time getting to know a woman, instead of wanting to invest years and years in ensuring that this woman is the right one for him, they're looking to just get sexual confirmation from that woman instantly. And what many women are doing, since they're noticing that a lot of men are only interested in sex, they're basically putting a price tag on it.
Hey, Diamond.
Martin?
So this is your apartment, huh, Diamond?
What do you want?
Can I come in?
Hell no, don't you ever come to my house again. I'm gonna call the police on you.
Why? I always make sure you get home safe. Please, Diamond. I need Diamond, please.
Don't hang up. Please help me. Help you do what? Come and get me. I'm at Junior's bachelor party and I'm the only girl here and I really don't want to dance. So what? I'm at the Oakwood Motel by the airport, room 306. Can you come pick me up, please?
Now, what we're seeing in the 2020s is the virtual essence of the pay-to-play culture. Now, in the 2010s, you had Backpage. Backpage was the modern form of prostitution, where instead of the women being out there on the street or on the turf, they was actually online making ads, presenting themselves, marketing and promoting themselves. And men would, contact them and go to them and pay for their services. But since the government shut Backpage down in 2017, what women have done is they've looked to new avenues to where they can have less physical interaction with men. And so in 2020, with the pandemic, you saw this increase or this surge of women having profiles online, displaying their sexuality, selling their sexuality with the use of OnlyFans. OnlyFans has become the biggest commodity of this pay-to-play culture. Why is that? Because now women don't have to really have the services of men coming to them in person. Many of these women have done with OnlyFans. They can create a profile, they can put a price tag on their page with a monthly subscription, and they can make videos or take pictures or do vlogs of any type of sexual creativity or any type of sexual act that they desire or what their fans or their subscribers want to subscribe to. So in other words, many subscribers, mainly men, are paying monthly subscriptions, or they're paying for a video, or they're paying for a video by just looking at these women do any type of egregious sexual act that they think that they seem fit, that is pleasing to themselves and to their subscribers. This pay-to-play culture has gone in a totally different direction. Now, the demand for financially benefiting from this virtual reality has gone to the haywire, to where now you're looking at women saying, I don't even want to have a conversation unless you cash out me. Don't inbox me, my inbox is broken. You inbox me, you send a guilt. Time is money, and I ain't got time to waste, so spend that bread. In a way, you look at this and say this may be devious, but in a way, you really can't even blame them. You want to know why? Because many men have adopted this form of conversation and interaction with women. Now, is this all women doing this? No. And is this all men participating in this? No. But there is a significant majority of men and women participating into pay-to-play culture daily. And now many men have just fallen back from the traditional form of courting women, getting to know women, and they're just saying, look, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I want that thing. How much does it cost? And so they have a mutual agreement into paying to play. The man get his off. The woman gets her money. She may like the dude, or in most cases, she pretends that she's arousing the dude. And they go their separate ways. This has been adopted into relationships so much that nowadays relationships aren't really taken serious anymore. Why is that? Because on one hand, you got men who will spend money just to get pleased or satisfied by other women. And then you got women who will be sexually satisfied by other men outside of their relationship. And it's destroying the overall fabric of the natural interaction between men and women. We're becoming more separated by these divisive attitudes. Men on one hand say these women ain't, and then women on the other hand saying, I don't with these. And now you have the rise of homosexuality and lesbianism brought into the case. From the way I see it, this pay-to-play culture in the modern society is breaking the traditional factor of how men and women interact with each other. Men are only looking at women as a sexual object, but more and more women are presenting themselves as a sexual object by insisting that the men have to financially pay them just for their sex. And what this is doing to relationships is causing men and women to just beat around the bush, get right to it, be done. No conversations, no getting to know each other. And it's removing us from the natural way of why we were designed to be around each other. This pay-to-play culture is here to stay, unfortunately. What I have to say is this. You're noticing more and more men are going their own way. Does this insist that they're gay? No. It just means that you're seeing more and more men removing themselves from Western society because at heart, they still want to be desired and loved and embraced by a woman naturally. And what this is doing for women, it is causing women to be more and more alone. So I say to the pay-to-play culture, you have to adapt to it. You don't have to participate in it. but you have to accept it for what it is. I would like to say that this could end, but with the rise of men becoming more and more simps, and the advent of the rise of women becoming more harlots, it is destroying the natural way of how men and women look at each other, how men and women perceive each other, how men and women get along with one another, accept it for what it is, and adjust accordingly. This is not an attack on either the man nor the woman. This is just a breakdown of the realistic nature of how society is in 2021. And this is why the dating scene is in a steep decline, because no one is taking relationships or marriages seriously. More men are just wanting to have sex without properly vetting or getting to know the woman. And more women are looking for financial come-ups from men without presenting themselves in a way that will have a man want to play his natural role in providing for you and protecting you and leading you. This is the reality we live in this modern society. I'm going to stay my own way by living a free agent lifestyle. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. But at the same time, I'm just going to remove myself from the pay-to-play culture. I've been a simp before, and I've paid to play before. So I'm no saint. But when you know better, you do better. And this is why we live in a pay-to-play culture. Because a lot of us know what we're doing is wrong, but a lot of us refuse to change what we're doing is wrong. Peace and love, family. And hopefully this video serves as a lesson to where hopefully we can get back to how we naturally treat each other. But until then, this is the reality that we live in today. One love.
Today to say today, you ain't really what you say, and you dealing with the pain, cause they living so astray. The men are so thirsty, the women are toxic. The only one is section, she digging for profits. The people being fake, everyone is dishonest. The day to see today is absolutely obnoxious.